In the village of Kolonga, a community known for its beauty and tranquility, life unfolded with the rhythms of daily routine. Fields stretched in every direction, lush and green under the warm sun. The marketplace buzzed with activity as traders called out their wares and children laughed while weaving through the stalls. This was a village where everyone knew each other and everyone knew Louis. Louis was a respected trader in Kolonga. His stall in the market was always crowded with customers, attracted by the colorful fabrics, fragrant spices, and shiny trinkets he sold. Louis had a way with people, his smile was warm, his words kind, and his prices fair. Yet, beneath this cheerful facade, a darkness lurked. Emelda, once a vibrant member of the community, had been struck by a tragic event that shattered her mind. Once full of life and laughter, she now wandered the streets, her eyes wild and her hair a tangled mess. The villagers pitied her but kept their distance, whispering about the sad turn her life had taken. Louis's descent into darkness began one night when an evil spirit visited him in a dream. The spirit promised him untold wealth and power if he agreed to a terrible bargain. Desperate for success, Louis accepted the deal, not fully understanding the price he would pay. The spirit's demand was horrifying. Louis had to sleep with Emelda, the mad woman, every night. The ritual would bind the spirit to Louis, granting him the wealth and power he craved. Terrified but determined, Louis sought out Emelda each night, dragging her into the shadows to perform the unholy act.
Hey there! If you love captivating folktales and inspiring life stories, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. You'll enjoy amazing tales from around the world and insightful life adventures. Let's explore together.
Months turned into years, and Louis's fortunes flourished. His business grew, and he became one of the wealthiest men in the town. He built a grand house, dressed in the finest clothes, and hosted lavish parties. But no amount of wealth could erase the nightmares that haunted him. Every night, Louis dreamt of a child with Emelda's wild eyes, staring back at him with an intensity that chilled him to the bone. The dreams grew more vivid and terrifying, leaving Louis restless and fearful. He dismissed them as mere figments of his imagination, but a gnawing fear took root in his heart. One night, the dream changed. In it, Emelda was pregnant, her belly swollen with Louis's child. The dream felt disturbingly real when Louis woke up drenched in sweat. He tried to shake off the terror, but the image of Emelda's pregnant belly haunted him. As days passed, Louis noticed a change in Emelda. Her belly began to swell, confirming his worst fears. The villagers, too, started to notice the change in Emelda, and whispers filled the air. They spoke of dark magic, curses, and unholy unions. One night, Louis awoke to find Emelda standing over him. Her eyes, once wild and unfocused, were now sharp and clear. She spoke in a voice that was both hers and something otherworldly. The darkness you summoned has taken root, and it will consume you. Louis's terror reached its peak. He could no longer ignore the truth. The evil spirit had fulfilled its promise, but the cost was too great. He was trapped in a web of darkness, with no way out. The following morning, the village awoke to a shocking sight. Louis, once the proud trader, was now a raving madman. He wandered the streets, his clothes tattered and his mind shattered. He babbled incoherently, his eyes wild and unfocused. Emelda was nowhere to be found, her fate a mystery. As days turned into weeks, Louis's condition worsened. He scavenged for food in the street bins, his hands filthy and his face a mask of despair. The villagers, horrified by his downfall, avoided him, fearing the curse that had befallen him. One night, under a full moon, a group of brave villagers decided to confront Louis, hoping to uncover the truth. Among them was Felix, a farmer whose bravery had earned him respect. Felix had been one of the first to notice the changes in Louis and Imelda. Now, he found himself at the center of the village's efforts to understand and cleanse their home. "We must not let fear rule us," Felix said during a village meeting. "We need to support one another and ensure that no more dark deals are made in our village." His wife, Mercy, was equally concerned. She had seen firsthand the toll the events had taken on her husband and the neighbors. Together, they started organizing community gatherings to discuss the situation, seek counsel from elders, and support each other through the trauma. They found Louis huddled in an alley, muttering to himself. As they approached, Louis's eyes snapped open, and he began to speak in a voice not his own. He revealed the dark pact he had made, the rituals with Imelda, and the birth of their cursed child. The villagers, their faces pale with fear, knew they had to act. They sought the help of an ancient priestess named Doreen, known for her wisdom and connection to the spiritual world. She performed a cleansing ritual, banishing the dark spirit that had taken hold of Louis. But the damage was done. Louis's mind was forever broken, a living testament to the consequences of his actions. Imelda's fate remained unknown, and the child of darkness was never seen. The village, scarred by the events, learned to respect the boundaries between the seen and unseen, the light and the dark. And so, the tale of Louis and Imelda became a cautionary legend, a reminder of the price of greed and the dangers that lurk in the shadows. Felix and Mercy found solace in the support of their community. They, along with other villagers, began to heal and rebuild their lives. The village of Kolonga, though scarred, emerged stronger, united by their shared history and determination to protect their home. Among the villagers was Gideon, who had witnessed Louis's rise and fall. He had always been wary of Louis's sudden success and had often warned others about the potential dangers of unchecked ambition. Gideon and his wife, Florence, took an active role in the community's recovery. They opened their home to those who needed support and became pillars of strength in Kolonga. Gideon often spoke at village meetings, sharing his wisdom and experiences to guide others. "We must learn from Louis's mistakes," Gideon would say. "Our strength lies in our unity and our respect for the natural and spiritual laws that govern our world." Doreen, the ancient priestess who had performed the cleansing ritual on Louis, felt the weight of her responsibility. Her small hut, nestled at the edge of the village, was a sanctuary of wisdom and spiritual power. Doreen had seen many things in her long life, but the darkness that had consumed Louis was among the most potent and dangerous forces she had ever encountered. She spent her days meditating and seeking guidance from the spirits. Her dreams were filled with visions of Louis, Imelda, and the unborn child. She knew the village's ordeal was far from over. One evening, a young girl named Nondi visited Doreen. Nondi had dreams similar to Louis's, filled with dark omens and cryptic messages. Doreen listened carefully, her wrinkled face stern and contemplative. "Your dreams are a warning, child," Doreen said. "The spirit that cursed Louis is still among us. We must find a way to protect the village and banish it for good." Doreen began training Nondi in the ancient arts of spiritual protection and cleansing. Together, they prepared for a battle that would test their strength and resolve. Louis's downfall had not only affected the village but also his family. His wife, Linda, and their 2 children, Tabo and Zai, were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. Linda was a proud woman, but the shame and stigma of Louis's actions weighed heavily on her. "We must be strong," Linda told her children. "Your father made terrible choices, but we cannot let his mistakes define us." Linda worked tirelessly to provide for her family, taking on additional work in the market and relying on the support of close friends and family. Despite the whispers and stares, she held her head high, determined to rebuild their lives. One day, Linda found a letter hidden among Louis's belongings. It was a farewell note he had written before his mind completely succumbed to madness. In it, Louis expressed his regret and begged for forgiveness. "Linda, I have made a grave mistake," the letter read. "I was blinded by greed and desperation. I know I cannot undo the past, but please, for the sake of our children, find it in your heart to forgive me." Linda wept as she read the letter, her heart torn between anger and sorrow. She decided to visit Doreen, seeking guidance and closure. Emelda's disappearance had left the villagers with many unanswered questions. As they pieced together the story, rumors spread about her fate. Some believed she had wandered into the forest, while others thought she had succumbed to the dark forces that plagued her. In reality, Emelda had embarked on a journey of her own. She wandered far from Kalonga, her mind a whirlwind.
Hey there! If you love captivating folktales and inspiring life stories, I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. You'll enjoy amazing tales from around the world and insightful life adventures. Let's explore together.